Thank you for considering being our VIP guest, where we help you raise your global visibility. One thing let's share with you that no one tells you about in business. I wish someone told me this when I first began, but it's one of those things where you really have to have gone through some serious challenges and suffering to understand why these things happen in life. Some of you, when you hear this, you might be blown away, but when you really, really step back and think about it objectively, it's ridiculously that it's true. So, what I mean by this, if you look at these three paintings, this is the actual prices. This Jason Pollock painting on the left hand side sold for $140 million. This Picasso painting sold for $179 million. And lastly, Leonardo da Vinci's painting sold for $450 million. Now, that painting is only 25.8 by 19, which is literally 2 feet by 1.5 foot. According to the story, Leonardo da Vinci only had 20 works of paintings, and there was only one in a private collection. And so this painting sold for $450 million. And again, it's a 2 feet by 1.5 foot paintings. This is the reality of life. Where when I wrote a book about networking with billionaires and executives a few years back, and I look at all these paintings, it was just so ridiculous how much money they're sold for. And it really comes down to their perceived value. It comes down to the story. Everyone knows who Jason Pollock is. Everyone knows who Pablo Picasso is, and everyone knows who Leonardo da Vinci is. And based on the story, this is how much they're sold for just a painting. Now you look at actual speakers. There's a Jersey Shore show that was out on MTV, I believe, or one of the reality shows. It was called Jersey Shores, and one of the main characters' name was Snooki. She was paid $32,000 for her speaking fees. Now, is it because she's the most valuable speaker? No, it's because she was famous, because she was in the media and she had global visibility. So she got paid $32,000 for a reality show that she was on because she was a celebrity. I don't even know what she's talked about on her speech, but it's because she's a celebrity. She therefore commanded those price points. Now look at my story. You might not know me. You can Google me, Christopher Kai. You can look at the various speaking bureaus or look at Christopher Kai speaking bureaus or Christopher Kai, Elon Musk. You'll just start seeing things of me. And so your fees, your consultant fees, how people perceive you, how much money you make, what stages you're on, is all about your story. In my case, I got paid $50 for my first speech. And I wouldn't even have imagined anyone would pay me even $5 because if you look at the left-hand side, that's my 8th grade graduation. I don't look very happy because for the 8 years I was in elementary school, I was bullied, teased, and punished for talking too much in class. I was bullied for being really short. I was 4'10" in that photo, but somehow I figured out how to go from getting paid $50 to up to $30,000. And so the stage you see on the right-hand side was a few years back where I was speaking at the largest fintech conference in the world, where across 4 days, you had 12,000 people and you had some of the top leaders in the world, like Steve Wozniak from Apple and Julie Sweet from Accenture and Max Levchin from PayPal, the co-founder of PayPal. And this was my speaking fee at the time, or that's the speaking fee I got for that specific engagement. When you're a corporate speaker, you get paid $50, 50% upfront, non-refundable, and then 50% when you get paid at the actual event. But I want to stress that it doesn't have to take 14 long years for me to go from $50 to $5,000. And then from 2015, 2017, within that 2-year time frame, I figured out how to bump up my rate 6 times more. And it's not because I was 6 times better as a speaker. I want to stress this. You can write 6 books, you can do 6 speeches, you can have 6 more companies, but it's your perceived value that the world will pay you for. And I want to stress that you all have value, but unless the world knows who you are, you're not going to get the price points you deserve. And if you don't understand this, you're going to suffer like I did. And I don't want you to suffer. So this is my story. Again, you might not know me, but if you see me with Jeff Bezos and Jamie Foxx and Buzz Aldrin and President Clinton, all these various people, you don't know who I am, but sometimes the people I meet are colleagues or they're part of my network, or sometimes they are friends. So let's say Diana Nyad, the only person to swim from Cuba to Key West, is both a friend and a colleague of mine who's volunteered at my homeless youth program. The point is, it's all about the story. How did I get to meet these people? And then when you start seeing, as I mentioned before, I was in Vegas and sharing the stage with these very prominent figures, then it just becomes irrefutable my perceived value. Now, going to you and who you are, you might not know Dr. Sohee Jun. She was actually our first VIP guest, and you might not know who she is. But if you saw her next to Elon Musk, already you're like, whoa, this woman is someone I want to talk to because, again, perceived value. So, three questions I want to ask you right now. Are you commanding the fees you deserve? Are you making the money you want? Are you tired of that job that you're at that you want to leave, or you're at a job that you like but you should be getting paid more money, or you have a consultant company, or you're a speaker or you're a coach? The bottom line is, if you're not commanding the fees you deserve, it's because of your perceived value. And then again, global authority. When people look at you, do they go, wow? And lastly, are you working with giants? And what I mean by that is, I am so grateful that I have shared the stages at conferences, whether with a Bill Gates or Bill Clinton, or various heads of states. And so what I call them giants. I have networking programs where I teach people how to network with giants. And that's how I define the good life. It's not just about the money. It's about you are making the money you deserve. You have that global authority, so you can make a difference, you can make an impact, because you can have the best heart in the world, you can have the best value in the world, but if no one knows you, if no one has a perceived value of who you are, I'm sorry to say this, but they don't care. And I'm telling you from my own experience. I wrote my first book. It took me 8 years. I quit my day job at American Express, flew out to California 20 plus years ago. I was so happy, excited, had the intention of helping people, but none of that mattered that I wanted to help people. What mattered was when I started building up a global brand, that's when people actually wanted to even hear me speak. So the good life for me, and what I hope for you, is making the money you deserve, creating that global brand and authority, working with the giants that you perceive as giants so that you can make the money, but most importantly, have the global stage you deserve to help the people that you want to help. So, what you're getting for being a VIP guest, if you're chosen based on our application process, is you'll get a customized video where this is an example of, it looks like you're in the news. So again, you are newsworthy. So you look like in the news on some random Zoom call, you're going to be looking like on the news. You also get a customized YouTube thumbnail, you know, customized podcast thumbnail. And this is really, if I were you, this is the one thing I would want you to remember, that this is the perceived value. Again, Anthony, you might not know him, but if he's next to Elon Musk, immediately this is the branding thing. And 100% of our VIP guests have recommended this experience, because beyond the branding thing, I like to have fun and I like to edify, spotlight, and highlight who you are. And I'm really good at interviewing because I've done over 1,100 interviews and I know why you're hiring me. You're hiring me because I'm spotlighting you, not me. Remember that. You also are featured on 10 global podcast platforms, including the three biggest ones, which is Apple, Google, and Spotify. And these platforms all have millions of potential global listeners for you. For one of our packages, I will also write a testimonial for you based on your industry, based on your expertise. And I did this for one of my recent VIP clients, and Edward was so impressed that right below that, that's actually his email response. My head just exploded because it was very specific with how I want to compliment him. And that ultimately is the key thing. And I want to stress this. I've watched many podcast interviews, even with very successful people, and you have the podcast interviewers that are in three categories. You have those that are a celebrity, so people watching them for celebrity, but ultimately they aren't the best listeners and they're just talking. And then you have those that are not very experienced as interviewers and they're not really bringing out your high points and your gems of wisdom. So just keep in mind that my sole goal as the interviewer is to highlight how great you are, whether it's a book, an initiative, your business, your consultant firm, your coaching, your speaking. The whole point is I'm here to spotlight you. So all you have to do is pick one of two packages. The first package is you get the 20 minutes video interview, which includes audio as well. A 15-minute pre-interview call. Curated means I walk you through what specific story most inspires. Because if you don't focus on stories, it doesn't matter. People won't be engaged. Stories are what inspires people. You also get all those customized marketing packages, whether it's the video, captions, and thumbnails. You'll be included in our Facebook group. It'll be distributed to various podcasts. Or the elite VIP is what most people get, which is me writing a testimony for you. So you get all the things on the left-hand side, but you get also me customizing a testimonial where, again, it seems simple. A testimonial is a testimonial, but This is based on me, 20 years of experience, where I'm like a Navy SEAL sniper. When I write words, every word is like a paintbrush. It might seem simple, but I base it on research of you, your industry, and I put that together. And hopefully, as Ed said, wow, my head is exploded. So, again, pick one of two options. Here are some testimonials. Elon Musk, gracious, humble guy. When I did interview him many years ago, he literally said, wow, you really know a lot. That's quite a compliment by Elon Musk. Dr. Sohee Jun, first interviewee that I had for the VIP portion, she immediately thought, how can I find other people for you? And lastly, we have Philip, who this is the ideal. I structure the interview. You don't have to worry. You can feel at ease, and I highlight your strengths of whatever you are. These are some of the guests we have so far. I look forward to helping and serving you if you are chosen. Again, two options. You either pick the one where I interview you, you get all these various things, or option two, where I write your testimony for you, which is very customized. And I hope I do blow your mind relative to these things. So, again, if there's one thing you want to remember about this whole thing, whether you decide to apply to be a VIP guest, remember wherever you are, whatever fees you're making, whatever stages you're on, whatever events you're going to, whatever TV stations you're on, people won't care how beautiful you are, how bright you are, how smart you are, how much value you have, unless you have a perceived brand. And remember those photos. No photo, no painting. I don't care how talented you are as Picasso, Jason Pollock, or Da Vinci. There's no reason why someone should be paying $100 million or $450 million. It's because the perceived brands of those artists are worldwide. And for me, I have a worldwide brand. So when I help you create that global image, then you'll have a more higher perceived value. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to reviewing your application and have a great day.